Hello, everybody. Welcome back to this week's edition of Things I Wish I Knew About. It's a sick edition, so you can hear it in my voice, unfortunately, but we're on the tail end of it, but we're powering through with another author. So
Yeah.
today we are joined by Melanie Rose Fernandes. Hello, Melanie.
Hello, how are you?
I'm super good. Do you have a dog?
I do have a dog, but I'm not around him right now because he likes to talk when I'm talking.
I get it. I get it. You'll see him stick his face in. It happens. Thank you
Oh,
for being here. I'm so excited
sure.
to meet you. We
Me too.
met through a mutual friend,
Yeah.
actually, my
Yep.
volleyball teammate. Shout out Teresa. Yes, did you play any sports?
I used to in high school. I actually played, or sorry, in elementary school, I played volleyball.
Hmm.
And you know what? I was like, I think it's time to move on. I don't think I was that great.
Grade 6 was it. You're like, this is
Yeah.
my peak. I'm good.
It was not my, that's okay.
Good. Melanie is here to talk about a book that she wrote, but we're going to start way, way before that because I don't really know a whole lot about you. Before guests come on, I get them to fill out a little bit of an info Google form, but that really doesn't tell me anything. So I'm excited to hear about you. And everybody always has like it's never a straight line, right? It's never a linear, this is where I start, this is the goal. There's always a million weaves and bobs in between, myself included. So I'm excited to kind of hear how you got to be an author, if that's your sole job now, if that's the trajectory moving forward, where you started. So why don't you start me with kind of, I know you grew up in Scarborough, and then now you've moved a little further east, but how did you kinda start your, I guess, careers? Where did you start after school? What was the kinda trajectory for you?
Yeah. So being an author was not on my bingo card for 2025. I'll be completely honest. I didn't ever think I was actually going to be a writer, where my career actually started. So, funny backstory, when I was a kid, I really wanted to be a veterinarian so
Don't we
badly.
all? Don't we all? And then you're
And
like, "Oh, I gotta murder the animals." That's awful.
I was like, "Oh, you have to do surgery on these animals? You don't get to just cuddle them and give them medication." So,
Terrible.
it's like, maybe isn't for me. And then I actually really wanted to actually go into social work or psychology. I really love working with people. And I actually did go to school for social work for my first year. That summer, I actually got a job as an intern for a large manufacturer. It's a food manufacturer in Canada, but they are a global business. And I got to work in sales and marketing. And
Hmm.
immediately I was like, this is it. I have to go to business school. So I actually dropped out of my program and I continued to work for this food manufacturer in sales and marketing. And then I went to business school during that time.
Oh,
And
where did you go to business school?
so I went first to George Brown and then I went to York University.
Yep,
And then
yep.
period, I actually ended on staying on and then I left and I worked for a few CPG companies. And it was about 3 years ago, I actually came back to that very same company and I've
Hmm.
been there ever since. And it's been amazing. The job is incredible. I get to work in sales and marketing again. It includes lots of travel, lots of just working with different types of people in the US and in Canada. But the best part of it is, and I never knew I would actually like this, is being able to take insights and trends and complex data and then be able to tell a story with it. So I feel
Mm.
storytelling kind of came from there. And then now I'm a children's author.
So you work in sales and marketing still?
I do, yes. And then I do the writing on the side.
Okay. So we were talking a little bit about, listen, I don't know anything about sales and marketing. When I found this, you're at a big advantage, I feel like, in terms of like book. Because for me, I wrote a cookbook and I was like, this long, treacherous, whatever, finally it's done. I wrote this book and then I had the book in my hands and I was like, oh no,
Yeah.
I gotta market this book. Like I have no marketing knowledge whatsoever. So it's like a whole other job that I don't know why I didn't really factor it in. I was like, oh, people will just know. They're just they're just gonna know that I wrote a book, you know?
It's tough, and I feel it's funny, I was talking to my brother about this and even my best friend. No one talks about the hustle and grind that goes into actually putting yourself out there, and I'll be honest, like, I'm a very private person.
Yeah.
Like, "Oh my gosh, this is really, really not what I'm used to." I actually have to really put myself out there, but I have to say it's actually amazing to see, like, how much you grow from it as well and being
Yeah.
able to talk about your book, and sometimes I'm like, "Is this cringy? Like, will people actually"
I mean,
like
for sure. Like, people are so sick of hearing about this, but I mean, you have to, right? Like, you are the marketing team. I mean, I don't know about you, but like, I'm not Rachel Hollis or Oprah, so I don't have a team of people behind me in those situations where you have a publishing house and you have a team and a marketing, whatever. Different story, right? You get to just write and be like, we're done. But did you self publish? I self published.
So I actually worked, which is an amazing story, but I
Yeah,
did
tell me.
with a publisher. So I feel like this entire journey, it's just all been about alignment
Yeah.
in my life. And I was actually able to work with this publisher. It's an all women's publishing company.
Mm.
And how I actually met this publisher, I met her about, I want to say over a decade ago. Her name's Courtney, and she's from Lead Her Publishing. She used to work out at this gym. She was a general manager at the time, and I was introduced to Courtney. And it wasn't until I decided that I was going to come out with this children's book. I was just online looking at different publishers and making a list of, okay, should I reach out to these publishers?
Yeah.
And my old manager, when I was actually working at that gym, he wrote a children's book. So I went ahead and I took a look at, okay, who was his publisher? And I just did a quick Google search and I'm like, are you kidding? It's Courtney. Like, she was the publisher. This is amazing. So I reached out to her and she was so excited. She's like, let's do this. Like, I'm thrilled to be able to work with you. And honestly, the process was just, it was so easy. It felt effortless. Like, it was just all meant to be. And I think we actually were able to have this book published in less than a year, which was amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah,
So she just started her own publishing company?
she did. Yes.
Oh, amazing. So let's go back a little bit to like the impetus of I want to write a book. Like I know you said you didn't start wanting to write. Do you have children?
I do not know.
Okay. So that's a whole other thing right there. Like what was the pull? Where did it start when one day you're finally like I'm going to sit down and I'm going to write this book?
Yeah. Okay. So it actually started. I was in high school and we were actually given a writing assignment. It
Okay.
was grade 11 writing class. And my teacher said, as the final piece, you guys can write anything, whether that's a memoir, a poem, a children's book, whatever you want. And, back in the day, it's going to age me a little bit, but of course, we didn't have AI or like nothing cool. We
No.
had, right? Like that was our clip
We
art was
barely had the internet, honestly. Like Christ, that was new.
and I was like, "Oh my gosh." So I had to use clip art as my guide and inspiration, to actually draw out these graphics. But I cut out all the characters out of construction paper. And it's actually adorable. When I found the book and I was looking through it, I was like, oh my gosh, I clearly ran out of construction paper because the characters are like different colors from when the book started. It's not even the same thing, but it was just something about that book. Like I loved it. And there's actually a full story about how this book even like that's how it came to be. But I completely forgot I even had it. So if I actually go back to a time that none of us ever probably want to talk about, which is COVID, I would
Right.
say the pandemic, it really just it shook up my entire life. I think
Yeah.
that shifted, whether it was a relationship, moving multiple times, my daily routine, my job, like everything just shifted in my life. But I think what it did was it opened my eyes and made me realize put yourself first. I think I was putting a lot of energy into things that were not serving me anymore.
Hmm.
And it was like, okay, I think I really need to get focused here. And it was this moment where one day I was just brushing my teeth and I was like, okay, you know what? I don't want to repeat this year again. Like, I
Yeah.
really want to change my life. And next year, I want it to be different. And I was listening to Mel Robbins' podcast, and she actually mentioned, she said, it takes just one choice to have a completely different life.
Yeah.
And I think in that moment, I was like, okay, next year is going to be different for me. And so I had moved again. I decided to join a book club through work. I was, really focusing on meditation at the time and just, keeping myself calm. I
Were you
also
at home? Did you have to work from home?
I was working at home at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you
So
were living on your own?
I was living on my own. Yeah.
Yeah.
In your
That's a
own
big deal, right? That's you gotta come to terms with yourself, right? That's a lot of you.
100%. And I think in that moment, I realized, and I had to be very honest with myself. I was like, the first thing I need to work on is my confidence. And
Yeah.
I actually signed up for a workshop that focused on anxiety and confidence. And I think that a lot of those things were able to really help me. I think that a lot of those changes, it wasn't big changes, they were small changes, but over time, it really did help me. And it was funny, one day I went to my parents' house just to go visit them, and I went to my old room and I opened my closet. I think I was going to look for an outfit that I had from before,
Oh my
and
god, imagine fitting in your high school clothes. Woo! Good for you. Jeez.
I didn't think it fit, I just thought I was looking for. Um, It's inspiration, right? And I opened up that closet and I found this book. And I just remember taking a look at it and I felt so much joy just seeing this book. And I was like, how adorable is it that I like cut out of construction paper all the characters, glued everything with a glue stick, is barely sticking on. But I was so proud of it.
Yeah, such a sense of accomplishment, I'm sure. You're like, "I did it. I completed it."
100%. And I feel like in that moment, I was like, how cool would it be if I published this book? And I just thought of it. I didn't actually think I was going to do it. And I remember speaking to my brother, my sister-in-law about it, and even my best friend. I was like, how funny. Like, I will start off the conversation. I'm like, how funny would it be if I published this? And they're like, that's not funny at all. Like, you should do it.
Yeah.
And like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. And my best friend one day, she's like, Mel, please, like, just start. Like, go look for a publisher, like, make it happen. And I went home, and that's when I started searching for publishers. And I came across Courtney, and I was able to bring this book to life, which
'Cause you'd
was
already had it written, right? The book was done technically?
yes. And then I'm gonna be honest, I had to make a couple of changes.
Sure.
Really flow that well.
Sure. I mean, grade 11, Melanie may not have the
Yeah, it was
flow of today.
100%. I was like, "Hey, maybe this doesn't really make a lot of sense,"
Right.
but, just a few small tweaks. To be honest, the majority of the book is still the same. It was just a few small tweaks, and what was really cool about that entire project was just not even just working with Courtney and her making the entire experience amazing, but I was able to add these, like, little kind of, like, Easter eggs in the book as well. So, when you do look through the book, you'll see there's a lot of things with Toronto and growing up in
Yeah.
Scarborough, and one of the things in there was growing up, my mom is an amazing baker. Like, she can really bake. We always have her like, "Mom, open up your own bakery." And she's like, "I don't know." And she never did. So when you look in the book, you'll find it's called Angie's Restaurant. That's just kind of like, she didn't get to bring that dream to life, but I wanted to bring that dream to life.
Uh,
in That
That's
book.
so nice. I did see that. I was like, "I wonder what Angie's is," because that's a random,
It's
you
an
know
it. Yeah,
that's a random name, but that's so nice for your mom to get to do that, and to
ab-
see you fulfill kinda something that you wanted to do, right? That's a big deal to complete something, whatever it is, whatever on whatever scale, to see that you said that you were gonna do something and then you completed it.
yeah, no, it's like having those little things in there. And I think just, little bits and pieces of like my family are found in that book. So it was so personal.
Yeah.
And just being able to like add those into there and then bringing it to life. And then also being able to just share it with so many people. And it's funny because even with this book, there was actually a day where my mom was babysitting my nephew. And I went over early before my brother and my sister-in-law got home, and we were just talking, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, like, Roman wants to read 5 books before he goes to bed." And she's like, "Mel, I was so bored." She's like, "When you guys were kids," she's like, "these books were so much fun." She's like, "Some of these books, like, they're so hard to get through." And
Yeah,
she's flipping through the pages, and she was skipping some, and he's like, "Grant
totally.
some." And she's like, "Oh my gosh," like, I
You could only do that for so long. I used to chunk books, just chunk them because oh my god, it does, especially if you've read them like 100 times.
absolutely. It's the same 5 books.
Yeah.
So, I think that's kind of what inspired me too, was I was like, "Okay, you know what? Let's get fun and creative again." And, this book is all about imagination, and for me, one of the best parts of my life was reading buddies in elementary school where
Mm.
with an older like a grade 8,
Yeah.
and all those books were so much fun, and it was just about having this big imagination. And so for me, I thought it's really important to, bring back that excitement, I think, into children's lives. And so, yeah, I was like, I thought about my nephew, and I was like, I think this is a book that he would really like to read, and he reads it all the time. I don't know if he memorized it or if he actually knows the words, but regardless, I'm very proud of him. And so,
That's so nice. I have a copy right here. I
oh
guess
my
we are
god,
inverted. We are inverted.
we are.
But, they'll get it. It's
Yeah.
Ooey, Gooey, Chewy Bubblegum. Talk to me about the art. How did you do the art? Was that part of was Courtney helpful with that, or
Yes. Yeah. So working with Courtney, she offers different.
lead her? So smart.
Yes.
I get it.
Yeah. Courtney
Right. The
with her. Yes. And she's awesome. She actually offers a bunch of different services. And I was like, you know what? This is my first book. I just want you to be able to help me with all of it. So she was able to connect me with the graphic designer, the illustrator, actually
Yes.
took care of all of that. So I was able to pretty much go through every single page and talk about what I imagine each page to look like, even down to the colors that I wanted to use.
Why'd you pick
Yeah.
purple?
You know what? I was like, I just looking at the character, I just envisioned her wearing purple. It's funny, my favorite color is pink, but
Yeah, you wrote that and you're like, I always wear black.
I always wear black. My favorite pink, none of it makes sense. But I was like, yeah, like with this character, I really wanted, I had a vision of what I wanted her to look like.
Yeah,
And the illustrator, her name's Monica. She was great. She was able to really bring all of the descriptions that I wrote down to life,
totally.
put it together. And yeah, I was really happy with
It's
it.
so cute. She did such a cute job. It's so bright.
Thank
You know,
you.
like kids love this stuff. I read it to my 7-year-old actually.
Oh my
And
God.
to be fair, he likes boy things.
Yes.
He's that kid. Worst. But and you know what's so nice? I mean, like, I don't know if this was intentional, but like I feel like this girl, she's not like a regular random white kid in a book.
No.
You know what I mean? Respectfully. Like,
Yeah.
Christ, how many freaking white kids in a book are there? But there's like different representation, you know, like
Yes. And
different
that
kids
was
can see themselves.
100%. And that was on purpose. I think that we live in
Yeah.
such a cultural city. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I wanted, you know, different kids to be able to look at the book and be able to feel like, okay, I can relate.
Yeah.
Definitely thought about that when, yeah, when,
Yeah. Look, when there's so much Toronto and Scarborough in here,
yes.
we love a Blue Jay moment.
It's funny, I actually had the opportunity to, you know, as part again about talking about my book, I actually had two different people reach out and ask if I could come and read at two different elementary schools in the Durham region. And one of them was actually a grade 3 class. And I think this was where, like, as a first time author, it was kind of like an emotional experience for
Yeah.
myself reading your book. And you're like, oh my gosh, like, do these kids actually even care? Like, are they going to be like, what is this woman doing in our classroom? Why is she reading to us? But I couldn't believe just like, first of all, these kids are very intelligent, I have to say. I don't ever remember being that smart in grade 3, but they are smart.
Yeah.
And very observant, but reading the book, we were able to go through each page. They were, you know, picking out certain things that I didn't even realize. And one of the best parts of that entire experience was at the very end, all of the kids just came running to me and they wanted to share all of their story ideas with me.
No.
And this one boy, I'll never forget, like he came up to me and he said, "You inspired me to want to write my own story." And I think that's amazing. Like I can't believe like just from this writing, like writing this book, sorry, that I was able to like inspire even if it was just one kid.
Yeah.
The teacher came up to me after and she actually said, "Because you came into the class today," she's like, "with your whole writing journey and how it started," she said, "the assignment for this class will be to write their own story." So that was really cool that they all got to write their own stories. And I just remember telling some of these kids, I was like, "I can't wait to be able to see your books one day."
Yeah.
That was like a very rewarding, you know,
Yeah. Oh,
thing.
I'm sure.
It
But
was
you also probably, I mean, I don't want to speak for you, but like I'm sure you remember that grade 11 teacher, right? That
I actually sent her an email and I
yeah.
did tell her about it. I was like, you know, just from that class, that was so great. And again, it was just being able to write any piece. I don't know why I chose a children's book, but, you know, I just reached out to her to thank her. And I was actually hoping to be able to connect with her soon. I'm
Yeah.
not in Toronto, so I was like, the next time I'm here, we'll connect. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's so nice. So tell me about like the actual story. Like what happens in the book? What journey does she go on and why did you pick this particular one?
Yeah, so with her, I think with this book again, it's all about imagination. And I know that it's not realistic, but with this story, it was the gum piece actually came from in high school and even in life, I always have gum on me. So it was just something like, okay, I always have gum. So the book's gonna be about bubble gum. But for the journey, I just wanted it to be where it essentially takes the character on this, you know, you got to go through oceans and, you know, flying into the sky and being able to see essentially the world. You know, she comes back and she realizes this is just a dream. So yeah, so with this character, again, she's able to chew this bubble gum, but it blows up into this big, this big bubble, and she's able to go on these fun adventures. And again, I think that's just to inspire children to essentially just think big and think outside the box and
Mhm.
essentially where your dreams can take you.
Right. That's such a nice message for
Thank
all the kids. So we were talking before at the beginning about alignment. I'm a big fan of the woo woo. I love manifestation. I love meditation. I love all of it.
yeah.
So what do you think was kind of like the common thread between, you know, like the start of this, your jobs, the people you met, et cetera, and everything?
Yeah, I think that It's just how everything fell into place again so effortlessly. And I think that it's almost like every piece, every person that I met, every opportunity that I had, it all fell together in order for me to essentially bring this book to life. Like everything from, all my experiences during the pandemic and having to first work on myself and build enough courage and enough confidence. And then from there, it was going to my parents' house and just finding the book.
Yeah.
Out of all of these years, it's like that was just for me, I was like, wow, I can't believe I finally found this book. And I think the last time I saw it was when I was 17 years old. And then from there, it was looking for a publisher and realizing I actually knew a publisher and it was
Yeah.
Courtney, and then after even launching this book, as well as just so many different people that I met were also local authors as well. So being able to connect with them and then again meeting, other parents and them introducing me to, their children's school and asking me to come and read to these kids and then being able to inspire them to write their own stories. I just feel like nothing felt forced. Everything very natural. And I was actually kind of shocked. I was like, wow, it's like everything's just falling into place the way that it was supposed to. I didn't really have to do like any extra work. It's almost like everything just lined up the way that it was supposed to.
Yeah, that's such a nice feeling
Yeah.
when it's not forced.
No.
So some of my audience are um entrepreneurs and business. I have a whole bunch of different ones. So can you speak to maybe the marketing aspect of this a little bit? Just kind of like what you're as an independent, I know you have a publisher, but kind of as an independent, what do you think the most valuable marketing tool that you have or have been doing to kind of get this? I'm sure it's word of mouth with parents and all that, but like from your end, what do you think that people can do that would be helpful for them?
Yeah, I think the first thing is creating awareness. So
Mm,
for me was again, I never really used Instagram and people
yeah.
always like you work in marketing and you don't use Instagram and I'm like, I know. I think when it comes
Yeah.
up like this is painful. So creating awareness through, different social channels, but especially through Instagram, being able to also, connect with other creators or connect. For example, there was another group. It's called Durham Moms or Party Durham Moms.
Oh.
And yeah, I connected with them. We did a giveaway, and I think that was able to actually like bring in more people to my page to be able to learn more about the book and see the book. So I definitely think the awareness piece is really crucial. And then distribution. So for myself, for this book, it's available on Amazon. It's also available online at Barnes and Noble.
Mm.
Then I also reached out to Indigo. So it is located in a couple of stores.
Yeah.
Markville, Ajax, and then a few in Barrie as well. So being able to have them in a couple of stores was really important to me. But yeah, I think the distribution piece too is different ways for people to be able to access the book. Really fun thing that I was able to also do was collaborate with two other local authors. And for the holiday season, we're actually doing a book bundle. So you can
Oh,
purchase all three of our books for $45. But again, I think it was to create awareness not only for their book and for my book, but also to I think today there's a lot of people who are willing to really support local, and I
yeah.
think very important. So being able to support local authors too I think I think it's great. So I think that's another thing that we were able to do as well.
That's amazing. Look at you. The thing I think maybe you'll start to realize, I mean, again, I don't want to speak for you, but in terms of like showing up online and it can
Mhm.
be daunting at the beginning, right? For sure. It's very scary to show your face, but this book is you, right? In all for all intents and purposes, you are the marketer, you are the team, you have to show your face. But at the end of the day, these clips, these stories, the whatever,
Mhm.
are such a blip, like it's truly not as big as you think that it is. And the more that you do it, the
Mhm.
less with anything, the less scary that it gets. But people want to see you, right? They want to see who wrote this book. Why is it authentic? Like who is she? Are you the main character? What was the story? Like what's kind of showing up on
Yeah.
your socials? And I'm sure you're getting there.
Slowly I am. Yes.
Oh, it's gonna be
Um,
great. It's gonna be great.
thank you so much.
What does the future kind of look like for you?
Yeah, like I said before, it's so funny. I would have if you asked me like 10 years ago, I would have never said I'm going to be an author one day.
Yeah.
That just seeing how I was able to put this book together and how personal it was to me, it actually inspired me to want to work on another one. So I'm currently working on a manuscript for a second book. And it's just, for me, I think now seeing with this book, how important it was for parents to be able to have a connection with their children, whether it's, after school or just before bed. But
Yeah.
Getting away from screens and just being able to have that one-on-one time, I think is so crucial, and I think learning that I don't have children of my own, but other parents reaching out and saying like, "It was so great to just read this book before bedtime," or
Yeah.
after school, my kids just they really want to read this book. For me, I was like, "Okay, that to me that's so important," but I also think that with this next book, I also want to be able to create fun experiences with parents and their children, or it could be grandparents or, siblings, but I don't want to give too much away.
Sure,
So,
sure. Will we see Annie again?
no, it'll be a new character.
Oh.
It'll be a whole new character this time. I think with this book, I'm really thinking about, okay, ways that parents and kids can both enjoy this book. So,
Yeah, so we're gonna write again.
yes.
That's very exciting. I was thinking, I'm like, I wonder if she's gonna do a series with Annie, like, and you could.
Yeah.
Christ, you could do whatever you want.
Maybe one day we might see Annie doing something else in another.
You're
Never know.
the boss. You're the master of your domain. I'm very excited about it. Well, I can't wait to see whatever the next one is gonna be.
Yeah.
Do you
Hopefully,
have a date?
do you have a theme? Is that what you said?
No, 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 sorry, a date? Like, are you writing
So,
right now still?
yeah, I'm currently writing right now. I think with this one, it's the last one I got lucky because the manuscript was already there and
Sure.
pulling those
Fair.
images so we were able to record time. I think I was done in 8 months. Um,
Yeah.
but with this next book, I think it's just what it is too? I think sometimes it can be even maybe imposter syndrome, right? You're like,
Oh,
"Oh, we came up with this first one, like, this one has to be better now," right? So,
for sure.
uh,
It is tricky, right? If the first one is everybody has imposter syndrome, like who am I? But I always like to think like everybody was nobody.
yeah.
Really, like truly, like all of these people that are out there and they all started like you and I did too, Like but
So
it
true.
is a very real thing. Imposter syndrome.
Yes, imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome. Nobody knows what they're doing. And that's the
Yeah.
thing too. Nobody knows what they're doing. Whenever I talk about my book, I say I had no idea what he was doing. I feel like I stood at the top of a hill and pushed a rock and then ran after it. It's like you just start, like you just start and you course correct and whatever, and then you'll get there. It's never linear. It's never a straight line. Everybody is doing everything for the first time until they're not.
It's so true. I think with that, I was just like, "Okay, you know what? You did this first one, you're gonna be in good hands again working with Courtney, so you can have this next one come out," but I am very excited, and I'm hoping I can make it happen, in the next year.
Yeah, that would be great. Next Christmas, we'll all have books under our tree. It'll be good. Okay, so is there anything else that you wanna leave people with? Where can they find you? You said it's online at all of the things?
Yeah, so it's available currently online on Amazon in Canada and the US, Barnes and Noble online. If you want to see it in store, you can go to Markville, Young and Eglinton, Barrie, and I'm forgetting more, and Ajax. So there are copies available there in person. And then if you are interested, there is the holiday bundle, which is available. So if you go to my Instagram, you'll be able to find the link in my bio.
And what's your Instagram?
It is a very hard one. It is Melanie.Rose.Fernandes.
Great, and you're gonna be on there every day putting up new stories
Yeah,
and new
100.
posts and
Yeah.
showing do you ever do, like, live readings or anything online?
I've never done a live reading.
Hmm,
Oh, I love what? It's funny. I love to be able to see, like, people's body language and stuff.
sure.
So, like, for me, I love doing, like, the in-person. My hope is that I'll be able to do something, later on in the new year, potentially a book signing. So I might maybe add on, a reading as well.
Oh, that would be fun, and can parents and teachers get you to come and do a reading in their schools?
Absolutely. Yeah, they can just reach out to me. You can contact me through my Instagram as well. And from there, we can definitely book something. So, yeah, if they would like for me to come to
That's
school,
fun.
yeah,
Do you have a website?
it's currently under construction.
Oh, that's fun. Does it have,
It's
like, a little
there.
shovel? There's a little shovel guy?
No, it.
Under construction.
You would think it's complete going to it, but I'm still just tweaking it a little bit. I'm
Do Instagram.
so I'm like, okay, let me just add a couple things, but there is a website. Yes.
Okay. Instagram, though, if they wanna contact you is the
That,
best way.
yes.
Wonderful. It's so nice to meet you. I'm so
Thank
glad
you
that
so
this worked
much.
out.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we get to meet in person sometime. You can come to our volleyball games.
Yes, I think I need to. I'm in Europe for at least another week, so hope to be able to connect.
Yes. Listen, thank you so much for coming today. I can't wait to have you back for your next book. And
Mm.
thank you, everybody, for listening to this week's episode of Things I Wish I Knew About. Now you know. And we will see you next time, guys. Thanks so much.